As a decision maker, you're always under pressure to choose the right course of action. But in an unpredictable world, there's no certainty about what the right decision is. So, it's reassuring to see the situation from a different perspective, to get a second opinion before making any irreversible decisions. Here's an example. In this short video, we'll demonstrate our second opinion on the Robotaxi, one of those self-driving cars. We'll use it to answer the question, have Google and Amazon really backed the wrong technology? And we'll use a Wardley map to give this second opinion. If you're new to Wardley maps, we recommend watching our introductory video, How to Read a Wardley Map. This can be found at powermaps.net. Let's start mapping our second opinion and see literally what's going on in this industry. All the information we use is based on this article in the Financial Times from the 19th of July 2021. We always start a second opinion by focusing on the user, in this case the users of Robotaxis. Well, there's really no clear description in this article on who the users are. This is a serious drawback if we want to understand whose needs Robotaxis are meant to solve. The first mention of any user is buried deep down in the article, where it mentions regulators, and the regulators seem to be reluctant to give Robotaxis the green light, presumably because of concerns about safety. Therefore, we're going to make regulators the users of this map. And we're going to put their need for safety in the fourth column of the map, as it's very much a cost of doing business if the Robotaxis want to play. To make Robotaxis safe requires a Level 4 intelligent system. Level 4 means the Robotaxis need no input from passengers in order to operate them. But making sure these Level 4 systems work means performing lots and lots of hours of testing in every city where they want to get a license to operate. This testing is described as an exorbitant cost, and this is a constraint on Robotaxi, and we show this as a thick black line connecting these two components. This highlights the constraint as a barrier to entry and progress in the industry. Now, testing needs deep learning systems to generate the data upon which Level 4 systems operate. And these systems require a whole lot of vehicle sensors, such as cameras, radar and LiDAR. The cost of sensors rises with every extra level of automation being sought. For example, sensors for hands-off driving cost $405, but the cost for mind-off Level 4 automation is $3,500. And this gives us a very basic map for the Robotaxis. In summary, the two main problems we see at the moment are the lack of any clearly defined user for Robotaxis and the need for extensive testing in any location they wish to operate. Both of these deficiencies are serious constraints to the widespread use of Robotaxis in the future. And perhaps this explains why the ride-sharing giants Lyft and Uber have recently exited the market and left it to the big tech giants like Google and Amazon. However, the article later highlights one other user, car makers. Now, car makers are interesting. They have different needs. They don't need the Level 4 or full automation of Robotaxis. But what they do want are the benefits of partial automation, which they can market to their end users as safer, more enjoyable driving experiences. Partial automation, or what is described as Level 2 automation, is provided by Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, or ADAS. ADAS offers things like cruise control and automated braking. ADAS is already fairly well established, think Tesla, and is therefore significantly cheaper than the custom-built tech being designed to make Robotaxis work. ADAS is also built on deep learning systems, but these utilize drivers, meaning car makers can live test their systems in real cars in real time under real conditions in every location. Regulators have less of a safety issue with ADAS, as they are augmenting drivers rather than replacing them. And in fact, as this technology is thought to help save thousands of lives each year, regulators are positively encouraging driver-assisted technology. The EU has even recently mandated that all new cars must have lane-keeping assistance and advanced emergency braking by 2022. This will help ADAS evolve even more quickly, becoming a more widely used technology, which means more suppliers will enter the market. And that process, in turn, helps the technology evolve even more quickly, thus accelerating the formation of a standard with which the market will operate. Therefore, we can expect a lot of capital to flow into ADAS in the coming years, which will also attract the best talent and thereby make this a reality. ADAS therefore looks like an existential threat to Robotaxis, a cheaper, safer alternative that has a clearer view on who its users are, car makers and drivers, but also has regulators on its side, a key player in this situation. Yet the outgoing CEO of Waymo, owned by Google, also doubled down on the vast perceived difference between the full automation of robotaxis and the partial automation of ADAS, claiming that the two approaches reveal a completely different mindset. But is this mindset really the competitive differentiator he seems to think it is? The deep learning systems used by ADAS systems are evolving more quickly, and understandably so. They're cheaper to deploy, safer to use, especially when compared to the testing hoops robotaxis have to jump through, or is that drive through. Consequently, the Level 2 ADAS systems are gathering more data than the more sophisticated Level 4 systems. And as sensors become more of a commodity, the quality of the Level 2 dataset may even match that of Level 4. Furthermore, these deep learning sets, which are full of rich data about roads, speed, safety, and energy consumption, will become invaluable to city planners, regulators, insurers, as well as the car makers themselves. They will be able to use this data for all sorts of new products and services, better designed roads, safer, more fuel-efficient cars, reduced insurance premiums for safer drivers, and improved road safety. These types of future advantages will attract new sources of capital now, which will again attract the best talent, who will make the new breakthroughs that meet as yet unknown needs of other user groups. The potential returns of ADAS systems now and the promise of what they could unlock in the future make them a more attractive investment opportunity than robotaxis, which are still decades away from general deployment. And this perhaps explains why only the likes of Google and Amazon can afford to be left in that game. So why are Google and Amazon staying in the market? Well, is this a clue? You'll recall that Jeff Bezos recently quit as CEO of Amazon and has been on a space flight. Could this have something to do with the future of robotaxis? Maybe Amazon is focusing on users the authors of the Financial Times article haven't recognized, which may explain why they don't mention any. The growing climate crisis on Earth is going to have a major impact on the way industry is done in the future, especially the hauling industry, which is a major polluter. In order to reduce emissions, we may see efforts to move polluting industries into space. If so, they're going to need all the self-driving vehicles they can get. Having vehicles with millions of hours of testing on the chaotic roads of human cities would provide extremely useful datasets for learning how to build future infrastructure that is custom designed for fleets of self-driving vehicles. Amazon certainly has the resources to be thinking in this way. They may be focused on a prize potentially far greater than the ones the car makers think they are winning on Earth. And that might be the subject of another second opinion video we'll do in the future. So watch out for that. So we asked at the start of the video whether Google and Amazon have really backed the wrong technology with robotaxis, and our answer is, it depends on who their real target users are and what needs they're really trying to meet. It's clear the authors of the Financial Times articles don't know the answers to this question, otherwise they would have written about it, but we suspect that Google and Amazon do. Watch out for more videos coming up in this second opinion series. And if you'd like us to map out your situation, with you and your team and provide a second opinion on the big decisions you're facing, then visit our site, powermaps.net, and check out what we can do for you.